Having completed the butchery, and maybe that's the right word for it, I'm now going to consider putting the new sides on. I'm actually changing the identity of this coach to a restaurant first, Gresley 61'6" restaurant first, 3 bay first. And no matter what you do in this hobby, you need a decent drawing. And you can't get better for LNER coaches than John Edgson's icing glass. I used them when I built the locomotives. Certainly use them for this. That's the shape of the tumble home that it should be. Very pronounced, very subtle, but pronounced if you can be subtle and pronounced at the same time. Very, very distinctive. And if you don't get that, well, the look of the Gresley coach is lost. Here we are. You get the sides, pair of sides, and they have to be soldered together. It's a very clever way of doing it to get the depth of beading. Mike Trice, although he doesn't do them anymore, at Start Castings, has done some careful etches. I'm just going to cut these out. Be careful. Just clean these up slightly. Take off those little nibs. Don't cut right down to the metal you want to retain. It's a temptation to save time, but all you do is bite into the beading and ruin it. And the same with the main panels. I don't know what it is about the etching process, but these tend to bend ever so slightly the wrong way, so it's almost imperceptible, but you need to just recognize that. Just sort of flatten them slightly by bending them back. You don't need a tool for this. It'd be too cruel. Just sort of bend them. I'll show you how to form them when I form the tumble home, but the moment they curve ever so slightly the wrong way. A bit irritating. Finger pressure should be enough. Time spent at this stage will be time not wasted. If you rush this and spoil them, well, it'll spoil the effect of the coach. Some might say I've already ruined the coach. That's a moot point, but and then we get the main body side out. Again, cutting just away from the work you want to keep. What I'm going to do here is anticipation of a job in future. I'm just lopping off that top corner there and there. And the reason is because when that will be fitted eventually into the side of the coach, that has to be bent over at right angles. I'll explain about that. Excuse me, but you need to just give enough for that job to be able to be done. So it's just nipped away the top corners. You'll note I said that the beading was in the wrong place on the Gresley coach. Well, it is, but it's still slightly above halfway, and it's all too easy to put this in the wrong way around. So the larger section goes to the bottom. Just make sure that that's okay, and that fits into there like so. The standard of the etching on Mike Trice coaches is exceptional, so what I'm going to do is just sort of hold it in position and just tack solder it, just holding by hand to begin with. This is burnt finger time. There's no other tool but your fingers can do this, so grin, bear it. Just tack of solder, and we're still not right. I assure you the fit is perfect, it's me that can't get it in. But the beauty of solder is you can do it time after time after time until you're happy. I think what I might do is just sweat this and hold it in position flat. I should be able to do it from the behind, but I seem to be incapable. But there's more than one way of solving this problem. So there's enough solder on that now. So all I'm going to do is just flood the joint with flux and run the iron along the bottom edge. Not onto the top of the work, obviously. There we go, that should have taken. It has. Once you're established that that's in the right place, you can then just merrily solder along. Just hold in position, don't need to damage your hands at this point. Just a screwdriver holding it in position. From the back. There we are. Lovely. Don't do the central rib, not yet. I'll explain why. But just go all the way along. Hold the two components. It will cockle because it's so very, very thin, but it will spread out. Don't have too much solder. And always keep away from where you've just soldered, so you never have the whole joint fluid at once, and so on. What I'm going to do is finish this off camera. I'll just pop one of the doors in for you to see how they go. It's just the same. They have a little position for the handrail, and so just hold those in place. Just touch with the iron. Check. There's a fair bit of solder gone around that, but what I'll do is make sure that that spreads all the way. I'm not going to put any more. And it should just creep, as I say, all the way around. There we go. That's the bottom door in position. If you feel there's maybe a bit too much solder, it doesn't matter. It soon cleans off. Makes the joint look really neat. Now I'm going to finish this side off, put the other two doors on the other panels, and then we're ready to form the tumble home.